is the first little sweet pea I've ever grown. I'm excited. These are regular peas and lettuce. They're already getting ready to bloom. Same with my green onions. These are chives. Doesn't look like my garlic chives are ready yet. Like ready to bloom yet. They're ready to eat. These beastie walking onions. And the baby walking onions. And this is sage that overwintered. And this is oregano that overwintered. It's doing so good. Very happy. Pretty sure the consensus is that's a weed, but I haven't pulled it yet. And then I don't know if you can see these, but one of these guys reseeded last year, I'm guessing. Well, I'm hoping it was the garlic chives. And there's a little bit of mint peeking up. I think that's orange mint there. Put some walking onions over there. I'm hoping that my cilantro is going to reseed here. There's a lot of seeds, it should. But nothing yet. It's my time finally starting to wake up. This is my lemon time, and it doesn't look like it's doing anything. Might not have made it. That's a little water for the bees. It's been raining. It rained so much yesterday. This didn't have any water in it. That's how much it rained. Oh, that's my garbage bucket I forgot to empty from doing my boxes. So yeah, we got a few inches of rain. This peony is super unhappy. I think it's because it got the poisoned manure last year. So that's asparagus crowns that haven't come up yet. I don't know if I transplanted them right, but these ones are coming up, but they're all curly. So I don't know if that means that I transplanted it like upside down or something. But like, here's the sticks from last year, so I don't think I did, but it's my first time doing it, so I probably did something wrong. Here's my asparagus getting ready to fern out. Still haven't taken down my dead sunflowers because I love them, but I should, now that the pathway is only about 3 feet wide. They're a little bit harder to get through. Some more asparagus. See those little babies? I'm not going to harvest any more this year. It's only the 3rd year and the plants are still kind of piddly, so let them grow now. Here is one of my new peonies. This one's going to be a pink peony. This one's going to be a pink peony. And I also have Swiss giant pansies and clapgrass in this bed. And I planted my little, I don't even know if you can see that, little extra leeks in this bed here too. And so this peony is coming up. This is one of the yellow and pink ones, and this is one of the yellow and pink ones. And look it! Peonies aren't supposed to bloom the year you transplant them, but that, and that, And those are all flower buds. I might get to meet this one this year. This one is just like barely this little thing. Oh no. Oh no. It's like all soft and broken. What the heck? Oh. But at least that one made it, I guess. That's another. Those two are also yellow and pink. This bush is coming back to life. My lilacs are putting out little buds. They remind me of grapes when they're like this. But it doesn't look like I'm gonna have quite as many blooms as last year, but we didn't trim it last year. We trimmed it the year before, and I've heard that lilacs really like being trimmed, so look at all of that. It's almost done. I just need like this tiny little section right here. It's the last bit, and then I just need to like beef that up a little. It's a little skinny. But that is my new 500 square feet of in-ground garden, no-dig garden. I love it so fucking much, I can't even tell you. Look at it. If you've ever seen anything so fucking beautiful. So far, the only thing that's planted in here, though, is this bed. Has a row of, I think it goes white onions, red onions, leeks, and leeks on this side. Where'd my finger go? Right there. So 2 rows of leeks, so a foot of leeks and a foot of onions all the way down. And then this bed, these are all my extra onions. This bed is gonna have carrots and parsnips and beets. So I did 1 row, I don't know if you can see those skinny little guys down the middle. I did 1 row of white onions, which were my leftover onions that wouldn't fit in the onion bed. Down the middle of this bed, I'm gonna do a foot of carrots on either side of them. And then I'll have my parsnips on this side and my beets on this side. And I did that because apparently onions and carrots repel pests from like each other. So I had some maggots and some onions the last couple years, so maybe the carrots will help with that. I'm hoping. We'll see. My little volunteer sunflower that I just love so much. And look, it looks like it might even put out a couple more heads. And it's just living in this like pathetic little nursery box. Now here is my white peony that I transplanted from here last year, which you can see I did not get at all. So I have another peony. Darn. This is my really fancy greenhouse system that I've been using on the days that are sunny but not warm for my plants that need a little bit more of the heat. So I also have planted some Swiss giant pansies in here. And then I have my gray poppies, and I have a bachelor button mix in here. And that is some bee balm that I started from seed last year. That's a maple. These peonies, I don't know if it's because they're west facing and they get some shade, but I don't know if you can see the little red spots peeking up, but they're waking up a little slower than the rest. There's some more bee balm. And that is my tiger lily waking up. I really hope that the lily beetles don't find it this year. Can you see those little red dog wieners sticking out? It's a peony. bee balm. And then that's like the mama bee balm, just doing so good. This peony, I think, is getting a little less shade. It's coming up a little quicker than the other ones in this bed. And my elephant ears didn't even die back over the winter. They were just green under the snow. I'm hoping that they flower soon. I heard they flower early and that hummingbirds like them. I am gonna have to move them though, because there's a gate here. We never use it, but I'm planning on putting our chicken coop back here, and that will act as a bit of like a privacy wall and a windbreak on this north side, because my lattice just doesn't do well with that. It's not strong enough. That's partially design flaw, but I think something a little bit sturdier will do better there. And now these are the maple trees that we trimmed back like, I don't know, a month ago, and they're going crazy. Like, there's so much new little growing things on them. These trees are indestructible. They needed to be trimmed. Now I have some little radishes that self-sowed. And the flea beetles haven't demolished these ones, surprisingly. I know they look like it, but we'll get to the bed they really got. There's nothing in box number 9 except maybe a couple weeds. I planted some really sad looking kale that just stayed in its little pots way too long, way too crowded. Not all of them made it, but some of them are looking like I might get, I don't know, one pick off of them before the peppers go in here on the 1st of June. We'll see. That's some more Swiss giant pansies that I really didn't have to start, but we'll find somewhere for. That is summer savory. Some puny little oreganos I had really bad germination on, and some thyme. They're all gonna get planted in and around the maples. I'm gonna do some flowers, and I'm hoping to get some saskatoons, stuff like that. Got some volunteer spinach. I think this is one of the shitty little transplants in this one. Same story as the kale. I couldn't just kill them though, but look at the difference between what volunteered here, and that was started probably like a month before that. And I don't think we're gonna be picking that. That's okay. And this I got extended by about a foot, so it's about 4 feet across. And I planted, I haven't covered them yet because flea beetles seem to be leaving them alone for now because they're bigger plants. And I'm going to be putting a arched bug net, a bigger one. I'm going to use my PVC pipe from my tents and some rebar stuck in the ground and sew some nets together that are much larger, because this is nowhere near big enough. Like those Brussels sprouts that I have planted in there will get over 3 feet tall. So I need a bigger tent, and that's what I'm going to try this year. I do have something seeded under here. So that I think is the one. Oh no, there's one. So 2 surviving radishes. This had 3 rows of radishes, and this is 4 square feet. And that's all that survived the flea beetles. That's another little tiny kale transplant, and that's another little tiny kale transplant, same as the ones that are in box number 6. And I just planted these cabbages. That one was planted a while ago. These guys just got stuck in here. There was a big purple kale in that corner, but the flea beetles just decimated it. It looked like white lace. And there's some more cabbages here. That's a little cabbage. Those are some cabbages that are looking good. And now these are radishes I got in the seed swap I did. They're called Malaga. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they're from Baker Creek and they're purple. And I'm excited to see that they're faring slightly better than my cherry bell. Oh look, that's a sunflower. That's not going to be able to grow there. These are broccolis. More broccolis. And then in here, I have daikon radishes that the flea beetles have started to find, I see. But hopefully once they get their true leaves and get a little bigger, I'll at least get to try some of those. I've never tried them. And I got those in the seed swap too, those daikon radishes. These are cauliflower. A couple of cauliflower there. That one's doing really well. These are from a blend, so they all have different maturity dates. So you can see these ones were all planted at the same time, but they're very different stages. So I should be able to extend my harvest a little bit that way. Now I had mustard greens, those are weeds, planted 3 rows of mustard greens planted in between those plants, but the flea beetles apparently really like mustard greens, and now I have none. Now here are Brussels sprouts, so those 2 were just planted. Those ones were started a bit earlier and planted a bit earlier. And then I have some arugula or rocket in between. There's 3 rows of that, but I'm waiting to thin it. The flea beetles have found that as well. That's why everything's under netting, by the way. It's working really well. Not so much this year. The flea beetles are really bad this year. Now, box number 1. I got distracted. I was in the process of, this is where I've been bringing some of my plant starts at like warmer weather because it's cold today. Even with me forgetting the tent open, it's plus, I don't know, like around plus 12 under here. I don't know what the in and out means. It has this little probe. Apparently there's an inner thermometer and an outer thermometer, but like, what does that even mean? I don't know. Somebody tell me, please. Some more volunteer spinach. And so yeah, these little tents, they make quite a difference during the day when there's sun, not at night. They don't make any difference at night. Now, I have a little row along this fence line all the way down to about there, because there's chicken wire on this fence because it is disintegrating. So it's so that my neighbor's little dogs don't get in here and my dogs don't get in their yard. But I've planted sweet peas and peas to climb that. The dogs might trample them all, but I don't know. It's wasted space, so I thought I'd try. Now, I have some more little baby kales that I planted in here. These ones seem to be doing a little bit better. Maybe because they're mulched better. I don't know, maybe they were just doing better to start with. Still not all of them have made it. But I have some more under here. Let's just open this up. At the back of the tent here, I have a couple containers. And kale didn't do great in that one, but there's lots of kale in that one that I can transplant out. I was going to eat it just as like baby salad greens, but might as well plant it, see what happens. And then I have the rest of my cabbages and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, and those are broccoli, and those are going to be going in this bed here closest where those little arches are. And then I also have some little radishes that self-seeded under here that, like again, the flea beetles have been getting under this tent, which worked against them last year, so they suck this year. I think this was the last bed here. again, some more volunteer spinach, and I transplanted out some more sad transplants. It's either a mustard or a arugula, maybe. I'm gonna guess arugula because it's not completely demolished. And yeah, there were other ones, but like, as you can see, they've done very well. Not so much. I just, like, look at all that. So much garden. And there's our trimmings from our trees. We took out a tree that was right here. Another maple. It had some plastic edging, which I'll show you here, around the base. Plastic edging around there. So, there used to be a trunk here and a trunk here. As you can imagine, with that plastic edging constricting it, they busted off under the soil and fell down last year, leaving this stump. I don't know that it really shows up, but it's really quite narrow right at the base. So having, like, I don't know, a 30 to 50 foot tall tree there is just not sturdy on that. So it had to come down. And I also had that plastic edging around those two trees and that tree. I still have to dig it out from underneath this tree because this wood pile is in my way right now. But I got it out from around those two trees, and thankfully the trees had kind of like busted that plastic apart. So it didn't constrict them in the same way that it did with this tree's growth. So hopefully we won't have to cut down any more of those. And if anybody can tell me if they know what this is, I think that the birds seeded it here. It looks like a nice plant, so I haven't pulled it yet. I'm intrigued. What is this? I know I could probably Google it, but maybe somebody knows. Hopefully it's not something really bad. And introducing Barb, my rhubarb. Thanks, Jackie, for the rhubarb. Look at it go. Like, I don't even know that it's been here for 3 weeks. It's just going crazy. And I just learned you can't harvest it the first year, which is so sad. Yeah. This beautiful, serene area. So nice. So where each of these little black buckets with a rock on them are sitting, that's going to be where my imaginary Saskatoons go. I don't know if you can see this. But my fancy system of laying down sticks to mark out where my pathways are going to go. So I'm going to be planting, flowers and stuff in here. And I've wrapped this tree in some beautiful, gorgeous plastic mesh and some chicken wire, which is much more discreet. But I've planted at the base here a bunch of sweet peas that I'm hoping will climb that. Oh, this stump also represents a Saskatoon bush, and that is for now the offering stump for the squirrel where I feed her because she's a nursing mama and she needs to eat. And my glorious compost pile. So this is all of my stuff that I've accumulated since the fall. And then this is yak and cow poop that I got, and some chicken poop and bedding from a neighbor, actually. Not the yak and cow poop, not a neighbor. That was from a really nice couple outside town. But a neighbor of mine has chickens. And apparently is also looking at getting bees, which I'm very interested in. I don't think I want bees. I just think that people should be able to have them if they want to have their own honey. So yeah, we have got a lot done since everything melted like a month and a half ago. And everything is just getting so green. blustery, rainy day, but I don't even care. Everything's green. It's